morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We are on episode 104. We have 100 days until the NFL season starts, so we're going to give some of these updates in the NFL. We have 88 days till college football starts, and we got a lot of conversations happening as teams are caring about their playoff seeding. But don't forget, we still have NHL playoff updates and NBA playoff updates that the Cover 2 Cook analysts will provide. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm getting Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right. Thank you so much for joining episode 104. Like I said in the start, we have 100 days till the NFL starts. So guess what? We got OTAs and we got people not showing up. So that is a great thing for us. Some of the players not showing up: James Cook, Kirk Cousins, Kyle Pitts, and Hassan Reddick. James Cook is seeking a new deal. Kirk Cousins is with the possible trade rumors. Kyle Pitts is not in attendance, seeking a new deal as well. And Hassan Reddick, who freaking knows? Which one's the big one that stands out for you on that one?
Kirk Cousins, where's he going to land?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of teams could use a sturdy quarterback, and he's one of them. I mean, he'll get you the wins. So I guess that's where I'm looking to see where he lands. If he stays with Atlanta and he's a backup, I don't really see that. I think Atlanta would want to try to move on with him and play Penix and just get a decent, a veteran backup, because Kirk Cousins still got a lot in his tank. I do believe he does if he can get with the right organization. I think Atlanta. I don't know if they want to. I think Atlanta wants them to take a lot of his contract.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they haven't been able to move him yet. So I think Kirk Cousins, where he lands.
Yeah, I don't even know if he does, though. Honestly, I think with the way that last year ended, I think he's only doing this because he's heard that Atlanta talk about trading him. I think if Atlanta went into this year saying, we're thinking about trading him, he would have showed up. He would have been a backup. He's making a lot of damn money to be a backup quarterback. Yes, whether you want to be in the limelight or not. He's made 2 solid contracts with the Minnesota Vikings and Atlanta. I think the biggest one is James Cook. You saw Derrick Henry get his money. You saw Saquon get his money. What about James Cook? Now, James Cook of 2 years ago wouldn't got anything. But James Cook of this past year, he definitely was a big part of Buffalo's offense. So as I'm moving forward, I want to get paid like all the other guys are. Kyle Pitts has been an absolute disappointment since he's gotten in the league. Nobody drafts him and maybe a new quarterback will help it and all that stuff. I doubt it. But I do laugh about the Hassan Reddick one. Obviously what was it, last year? Yeah, we went last year. We went through this whole thing with the Jets. Yep. And this year we're going through the same thing. I did see a quote from the coach. They asked him, they said, so what's up with Hassan Reddick not being there? And he said, I believe one day he'll show up. One day he'll show up.
Yeah.
Jiminy criminy.
Yeah. A lot of people will show up in one day. Yeah. One day they will. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was like my NFL career. It was like, oh, wait, I am on a team? Like, that's what Hassan Reddick is. Like, you do need to play football if you want to keep playing football. Like, but yeah, otherwise, other news that is happening right now in the NFL is the Joey Bosa getting sidelined, probably going to be sitting out until training camp, if not later, due to a calf injury. What did you think about that one?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, his career, he's a good player when he's healthy and on the field. He's a very good player, but he just can't stay healthy. He just can't. And that's the bad deal. The drawback of probably why he played for 49ers, didn't he?
Yeah. No, Chargers.
Yeah. Chargers? So Nick must be the one that plays for 49ers. You
Yeah.
sure they ain't the other way around? All right. Anyway, they just both of them don't stay healthy. They're great players when they're on the field, but they just don't stay healthy enough. And a leg injury that could linger all year. That's the bad deal.
Yeah, I definitely think I just wrote that down differently. Yeah, it is Nick Bosa. Yeah, Joey played for.
I thought so.
Yeah, Nick Bosa with the and I think we said that when he signed with Buffalo, it was like him on the opposite side of Von Miller, which I don't know if Von Miller signed back or I don't know. I think he's still a free agent, but whatever. It was like they have what could be a potentially good defense, but he has to stay healthy, and we're not even part of the season yet, and we're already talking about injuries with him. It's his biggest downfall. Unfortunately, when players get into this, you kind of forget how good they were at one point, and this is what their legacy is remembered of, well, they kind of were injury prone. Well, they only got injury prone the last 2 to 3 years that they played. The first 5 were really good. Right. And I think that's where we're seeing with Nick Bosa now is where, unfortunately, if he can't stay healthy, that's what his legacy is going to be with him.
Yeah.
In college football, 88 days till college football. Can't wait. I am so ready for our Saturdays and Sundays of football. At the same time, I don't want to give up my summer, right? We want a nice weather. We want to be able to enjoy it, go travel. But hearing 88 days till football, huge news coming out of here. Sanky, if you don't know who that is SEC commissioner, is saying that the 4 automatic bids for the SEC would cost them. Now, this is all theoretical, right? This is 12 picks that they're still going with the 12 format, but this is if they go to 14 or 16 that they want to do automatic bids. Now, how that would be broken up is 4 SEC, 4 Big 10, 2 Big 12, 2 ACC. Now, let's give us some information on this. 6 SEC teams last year were in the top 16 at the end of the year. 3 of them made it, Georgia, Texas, and Tennessee, which we all remember. Alabama was the first out. Ole Miss was right there. And South Carolina were all looking in, okay? This is where you say, okay, well, the year before. What about the year before? The year before, they had 5 teams that were in the top 16. So the SEC might have took a step back last year. And I know that Sankey is trying to fight for the SEC, but I believe the NIL and the transfer portal has evened up these conferences. So you can go in there thinking you got a big stick between your legs. But remember, if you can't walk the walk, you better watch how you start talking. Because I think this way, what is happening right now is it's making college football very political. And that is what college football fans are college football fans of, and not NFL fans, because it's not political. It's my team, it's our rivals, and this is what we do. We don't have to worry about a commissioner. Well, now, with how this is going, it's getting way too political. What did you think about hearing about all this?
Yeah, I think what he's trying to do is get away from the NCAA. I really do. I think he wants to start his own playoffs. He really does. And he thinks that the SEC and the Big Ten can get together and have their own playoffs with their own TV contract. We've talked about this before.
Yep.
They were succeed from the NCAA. They don't have nothing to do with any other conference other than the Big Ten, and they want to have their own tournament away from the NCAA. And I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to find somebody to bite off on it and sell it on TV. And I don't know if they will be able to do that. Maybe not in my lifetime, I don't think. I don't know.
I don't know.
And I think that's what he said. I think he said towards that. I think he wants to get away from the NCAA. He wants to have his own tournament.
You say in your lifetime, but this has got to happen under his rule, because who knows what the next commissioner of the SEC is going to come in and do, and who knows what all that even leads to. I think when you talk about him and his philosophy is that the SEC has dominated the past 10 years in college football.
Well, most definitely.
They just did it this year, right? So now he is walking around as if they still won a national championship when all of their teams got either blown out or barely got past that first round. I mean, and then they go against Georgia, goes in the second round, and barely gets beat by Notre Dame. Texas goes into the third round, barely beating Arizona State in the second round. You're talking about teams that, like, they just weren't that dominant. Alabama, I laughed when I read this. Alabama got beat in their bowl game, and Jalen Milroe played the whole game.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Jackson Dart played that game, and they still lost. South Carolina played against Illinois, and I'm pretty sure
Illinois won.
Yeah, Illinois did win.
Illinois won. Yeah.
So I think when you look at this, it's like the 4 SEC, I think that's a great for them. But then to say losing out positions, SEC is going to have a dominant year for them to lose. But what happens when you have a downfall year like you did last year?
Yeah.
Do you actually believe Alabama should have been in the running for that? No. I don't think Ole Miss should have either. I think South Carolina had a fight for it, but then watching what they did against Illinois, it was like, maybe not. I just think that this became so much more level playing field. So when Sankey wants to go into these conversations and make these comments, there's people that are like, piss off then. Now, the SEC probably doesn't feel that way, people that are fans of the SEC. But as a fan of Notre Dame, it's like, I didn't see your teams. I didn't see any SEC teams in the national championship. I saw an independent team in there, though. And they had to fight and climb. They didn't just get the chance. They just didn't get put into the championship game. They fought to play in that. So how does this affect Notre Dame if they go to this way?
I don't think it affects them at all. Yeah. I think they'll pull them in. They will pull them in. I think if they expand, there's been talk 14 to 16 teams in the next couple of years. Notre Dame, all they got to do is win 10 games.
Yep.
That's it, and they're in. You don't tell me that they can't be the top 16 teams, one of the top 16 teams, and win 10 games, and they're not part of the top 16. Come on, I mean that's just unrealistic. So if they expand, this is right up north, and they don't have to join a conference. They can just sit back and enjoy the limelight, and they don't have to join a conference.
Because the way that they're doing is the top 12 teams are going in, right? That helps Notre Dame because now it's saying they didn't have to just fight for, what was it, like 6 positions because they weren't going to win a conference. Now it's the top 12. So that helped them. Now this going to this seeding of 16 and so many for Big Ten, so many for ACC, that now puts back Notre Dame into the situation where it's like, you should probably join a conference because now you're only fighting for 4 positions. And I think that's where SEC is like saying, well, we need more teams. We need more spots. It's like, I think they're trying to make it so that, and I don't want to say college football revolves around Notre Dame, but college football kind of revolves around Notre Dame. And I think of when teams are like, we need to get them in a conference so that they have to play in a conference. They can't make their own schedules the way they want to, blah, blah, blah. And then they have to be a part of the bid. They have to be one of the bids to get in. Otherwise, if they keep it where it's the top 16 teams, Notre Dame will be in the college playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like I said, they only have to win 10 games.
Yep.
10 games. That's all you got to win is 10 games. Even if they go to 14, I still think they're going to have to fight over 4 spots. There'll be one of the, if they win 10 games, they're in. They're in. They may not get, and I do like this where the top 4 get a bye. Not like you win your conference, Boise State, Arizona State, and you're an automatic qualifier. AQ, I'm sorry. No. The 4, NCAA does this. The 4 best teams get the number 1 seed. That's it. Yep. You've got to go with that. That had to be rule number 1 change. And I'm glad they did that because you've got to have the best teams and get buys. I'm sorry. You've got to.
Actually, I'm against that. I don't think there should be any buys. I think they should go to 16. Every team plays in that first weekend. And the reason
I don't mind that.
I'm saying that because of what happened last year, and I'm tired of hearing people being like, "Well, the buys really kind of no." Then nobody has buys. Yep. 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, 3 plays 14, and just go down the line that way. So your 7 or your 8 are going to go at it, and that's going to be your game. That's like these guys are just right in the same wheelhouse. Otherwise, that first round should be blowouts. Should be. So
that's other news is that 1 versus 16 more
college basketball.
Yeah, college
basketball. Other news that are happening in college football is the EA Sports College Football 2026 for basketball. The cover has been revealed. Or I'm sorry, for basketball. For football has been revealed. Alabama's Ryan Williams and Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith heading the cover. They're the first 2 right on the front. Players and obviously coaches and no coaches. Players and mascots are all in the background. It is the 2 best players, I think, in college football. I think 2 players that made a big splash last year. When you think about it, both were true freshmen. Both made crazy plays. One's a part of the national championship team. One's a part of the team that is nationally branded. I did see Jeremiah Love is like the third person in there, right? He's got a great picture because I think that's my front Heisman winner right there.
Right.
But when we talk about that, last year it was Travis Hunter, Quinn Ewers, and Donovan Edwards. Donovan who? Who?
Yeah.
Like, right? So I'm wondering eventually if this will be a Madden curse or if it'll be a college football curse of outside of Travis Hunter, Quinn Ewers did not have the year he was supposed to.
Right. What?
And
Right.
Donovan Edwards was forgotten in the wind.
Yeah.
But what did you think about these two being the cover?
I agree with it. I mean, they're one of the better, stars for their colleges. So yeah, I totally go with. And you just kind of wonder if this happens again this year, as far as if they get hurt, a couple of them might be like, but I think the money will kind of overrule that. So
Yeah, well, and Quinn Ewers did get hurt. Travis Hunter, I don't believe got hurt, and Donovan Edwards, I don't even think he was like a day one. It just felt like I'm not a Michigan fan. I actually hate Michigan, but I don't even feel like he was like a day one starter. Like it just felt like he was so irrelevant when the season started.
Well, they went with Mullins. They went with Mullins instead of Edwards.
Yes.
At the end, I mean, they were more with him than what they were with Edwards because they kind of pushed him to the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that he felt irrelevant throughout the year.
Right.
In other news, there is actually sports playing, and we're going to move on to the NHL playoff updates. To start us off, Florida versus Carolina series. I'm just going to talk about the two series. There's only two series happening. Thursday night, Florida put on another beating on Carolina 5-0 to go up 2-0 in the series. Now, a great funny part is if you caught it. At the end, the Florida Panthers were getting off the ice, and they were acting like they were hitting pucks at Marchand, like that happened in Game 1. I knew it was like when Carolina did that, it riled them up. You got Florida now all going. You didn't want that to happen. You did see in this game, too, with them winning 5-0, they were coming after him. They were trying to hit him. They were trying to zero dominance. That leads into Saturday. Game was 1-1. It looked like a close game. And until the third, when Panthers scored 5 straight to win 6-1 to make the series 3-0, looking like a sweep. Carolina switched goalies in this game before the game started, obviously. Everything after this Saturday night looked over. Looked like it was going to be the series was over. It was going to be a queen sleep, just like it was a couple years ago. Last night, you could feel the desperation of Carolina. Throwing pucks at the net, kind of getting into the goalie's face. Things just need to bounce their way. Well, all series it had bounced Florida's way. And it bounced Carolina's way. They went 3-0 to make the series go 3-1. Now, do I believe this series is still over? Yes, it's over. Like, Florida's going to win this series. But Florida needs to win this now so that they can get a little bit of rest before the Stanley Cup happens, because the other series doesn't look like it's going to be a clean sweep. So, and that way, Florida, get it over with. Don't let them hide around. And then before you know it, it's a 3-2, 3-3, things like that. Just get it over with. Put the nail in the coffin. And honestly, I think the best way to do it in Carolina. The next game. End it with them. Edmonton versus Dallas series, Friday night. Edmonton gets out to a lead, goes up 3-0. But this time, they didn't give up 5 goals. They win that game 3-0 with tying the series at 1-1. Edmonton's fans had to been sitting on the edge of their seat for that third period, going into it 3-0, being like, well, we gave up 5 goals 2 nights ago. What are we thinking for this one? I think that started putting confidence back into Edmonton, obviously. Sunday night, Edmonton came out fast, go up 2-1 before scoring 4 straight to win 6-1 to make the series a 2-1 lead in Edmonton. Now, this should be a 3-0 Edmonton. Now it's 2-1 because of that first game, giving up all those goals in the third, okay? Playing in Edmonton is a different environment than it is in anywhere else in NHL. I truly believe that. When you watch their games, it is kind of hard to hear the commentators because the atmosphere is so loud. Tonight they play, and I think Edmonton has to win. Here's why. If Edmonton wins, obviously the home field advantage is in your way because all you have to win is one more. You're going to play a couple more times at your place or play one more time at your place. So if Dallas wins tonight, I think it goes 7. I truly believe it goes 7. If Edmonton wins tonight, obviously I think it might go 6. might go 6, and they win it back in Edmonton. But this is where I said with Florida earlier, just win and get over with that so you can get some rest, because I am, if I'm a betting man tonight, taking Dallas. I think Dallas bites back here. They find a way. They haven't really played themselves outside of one period in that third in the game one. I think they take this game. They know what the speed's coming. They've had multiple games of it. I think they handle this game and go up and tie it 2-2 going back to Dallas.
There was a couple things I seen, Anthony, where Carolina, that was their first victory in conference finals. I mean, they've been there four times, and they've not won one game except for last night. I was shocked on that. And I'll tell you what, Edmonton, man, that Connor McDavid, that team and Draisaitl, they're just tough. I mean, they just throw everything but the kitchen sink at you. I mean, they are a tough team. I think if it goes to Florida and Edmonton, I don't know. Florida's defense is really good.
Yeah, I think the speed of Edmonton is like they had the same speed last year. So what's the difference of this year and last year? I think when you talk about Florida, I think they reloaded, not rebuild, because getting Marchand has been a huge impact in their playoff series. And when you talk about speed, how do you beat speed? Physicality, and that's what Florida's got. I think that's why actually Dallas gives Florida more of a challenge if Dallas makes it. And I think that's where I'm betting on Dallas, because I think Dallas brings the physicality to slow down that speed. Because that speed has been, I mean, when they scored 4 straight on Sunday night, it was just like bang, bang, bang. And it was all based on speed. So it wasn't power plays. It wasn't things like that. It was speed. So what's happening in the NBA? Because that is also happening as well.
We're going to start with the Minnesota OKC series. This series has went from one extreme to the other. Game 2, OKC took the game 118-103. SGA scored 38 points, 5th consecutive 30-point game. OKC's defense is just, in game 2, they were just, again, pressuring Minnesota into bad shots. Yeah. Anthony Edwards, he had 32 points, but 26 shots. You're not going to win very many games like that. Randall only had 6 points and sat the fourth quarter. So that was not good. And then they come home on game 3 and they blitz OKC.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. I was watching that game and I'm like, it went from 20-point lead to a 40-point lead, like a snap of the fingers. I couldn't believe it. I mean, their defense was, and SGA, they had no answers to what they were doing. They ended up sitting on the bench on the fourth quarter. They played their subs. But last night, and I knew all great teams could come back. When they get blown out like that, the great teams, they block it out. Okay, that was just one game. And that's what they did last night. OKC, game 4 was totally different. They just felt like they were a step ahead in this game. They were they were right ahead of Minnesota. And I don't know with Anthony Edwards. He can have a really good game and a really bad game. He just wasn't, the same. I mean, but I think also too, in the fight, I mean, it was a close game last night until the final 2 minutes where SGA and I think with OKC, the key to OKC is Jalen Williams, without a doubt, because he played like crap game 3, and he kind of had to know Minnesota was going to come out blitzing. I mean, they just came out just playing out there. They played like they've been playing all year. But that Jalen Williams is the key. He's the X factor to OKC as far as how far they're going to go. If he's off, they're not very good. Now, last night he had 34 points, 5 assists, and Anthony Edwards had 16 points. I mean, both teams shot over 50% from the field. I think OKC's in the driver's seat. I think they got to win tomorrow night. If they win tomorrow night, it's over. But if they go back to Minnesota, I don't know. I mean, we could see a 7-game series out of this, but I don't think so. I think Minnesota's done. I mean, it's just not even close. So, and teams have been up 3-1, have won 95% of the time. So I don't see this going much farther. Maybe one more game, they could extend it, but that's probably about it. But the series I really want to talk about is this Indiana Knicks. Every game has been really good, and I really do think so. Game 2, Pascal Siakam at 39, and Indiana won that 114-109, take a 2-0 series lead. This is the first time in franchise history that Knicks have lost their first 2 home games in playoff history. That's just, and they have a big history of being in the playoffs. This was a close game throughout the night, but the 11-2 run by the Pacers at the end, they just couldn't. The Knicks couldn't. They couldn't do anything about it. Yep. But then we had Game 3 Sunday night, and I thought this was a really good game. This was do or die for the Knicks. Down 2-0, no team comes back from 3-0, and they got down by as much as 20 in that game, and you could just tell. They needed something out of Cat, and they finally got it in the fourth quarter. He had 20 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter. You could just tell. But his shot is so – I was uptown at the bowling alley. He's one of them that shoots and goes, oh, wait. Oh, okay. It goes – but he wasn't shooting very good, but he kind of took over that game in the fourth quarter with Brunson in foul trouble, and they just finally got over the hump. They need more out of that. I think also too, he's got to play like that for 48 minutes. Finally, Tibbs started playing he started playing some different players too. He started being more flexible. He played DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet. And also too, Halliburton it seemed like he went on the bench the last 4 minutes of the third and the first 4 minutes of the fourth. That team drives around him.
Yeah.
So when he came back out of that timeout or out of in the fourth, the team wasn't the same, and I think it could have been a little bit because of that defense. Well, we also know too, Game 4 is in Indiana tonight, and guess who's going to be in the house?
But he's in the press box.
They smartened up and said, "Okay, we'll let you back in because we'll lift the ban, but you're going to be in the press box." Tyrese Halliburton's dead. So, and that's where he should have been the whole time. Anthony, he should be on the court. I'm sorry. We had that discussion before in this deal. He should not be on the court because his emotions got the best of him and he got into Giannis's face. We talked about that. He belongs up in the press box. If you want to put the camera on him up in the press box, that's one thing. Let's put him up there. He can stay up there and root for his kid up there. But I tell you what, I think the Knicks have got to win tonight because they go down 3-1. Indiana's proven that they can win at New York, at MSG. So you've got to get, but I think the Knicks keys are going to have to be, they can't come out slow. They can't, get down by 20 again. They've come down, they've won 3 games this year in the playoffs being down 20. Eventually that streak is going to run out and you're going to get blown out. That's what's going to happen. So Cat's got to play better. You got to have some better, and Tibbs has got to maybe play some other players off his bench. He finally was flexible. He's got to stay with that, or they'll get beat.
Yeah, I think they also got to stay out of foul trouble. Jalen Brunson getting in foul trouble.
That was too.
Yeah, yep. But that was huge on them for not. And when we talk about this series, it's like Jalen Brunson's been clutch throughout the whole playoffs. Mm-hmm. But you went out and got Cat, spent all these things for them to go over the hump. This is the hump we're talking about here. Right. And when he did it in the fourth quarter, it was like, okay, great. But now you need to do it the rest, because even if you win this series, you're not going against a less superior team. You're going to go against a pretty solid team of OKC, because I do believe that series is already over as well.
Yeah,
and you were talking about Ant Edwards. I read this stat today that he got double teamed 95%.
Wow.
Was it last night? Yeah, last night. No, 2 nights ago, whatever. No, last night. Last night he got double teamed 95% of the time he had the ball. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when? You can't blame that on him. You know who you should be blaming if you're Minnesota? Where the hell is Julius Randle?
Yeah,
is that guy playing or not? He on Game 3 they were like, man, his defense was so good. Where's it 1 and 2 and 4? And God forbid the guy brings a double side to him, which he was supposed to be a generational talent when he was in Lakers. Can he score the ball? Can he, I feel like he's had 9 points throughout this whole series. I think when you look at those 2 games, when the next upcoming games, Julius Randle has to be a huge part, and I think Cat has to be a huge part. Isn't that the 2 guys that?
Yeah.
which both
Right.
teams ran away from. I think they both have to step up for their teams.
Most definitely. And I think that's why I think the Knicks got rid of Randall because
Yeah.
he just wasn't consistent enough for them, and they
Yeah.
wanted somebody to get him over the top, and that was Cat. But Cat's got to put 48 minutes together too, not just a quarter. Put a full game together. I mean, he goes and he hides for a while, and then he all of a sudden he wants to play, and because when he wants to play, he's one of the top players in the league.
Yeah.
When he wants to play, and this is the time to shine, buddy. Because
Well,
like you said, it ain't gonna get any easier when they play OKC.
Well, and he's got to play his game. I mean, I've
Right.
seen him taking some of these threes that just don't make sense. You're not that guy. Like,
No.
post up and
Yep.
shoot your shot. Also about this game too tonight. I don't know if everyone saw it that went viral. There was an Indiana Pacers fan walking throughout New York City, and they were throwing trash bags at him, and it went viral and stuff like this.
Wow.
Tyrese Halliburton. Now this was before the series started. Tyrese Halliburton said, we will bring you." Little did people know, even though he was an Indiana Pacers fan, he's a New York firefighter. So he'll be tonight at the game rooting for his Indiana Pacers. Just another reason why New York's just a shitty-ass city. But I hope Pacers win this game. I really do. I'm so tired of hearing about the Knicks. I'm tired of, this is so great. And maybe it's the inner, like, Chicago in us. Just, like,
Right.
I was growing up in the 90s, but I wasn't that about the basketball. But, like,
Right.
I'm just tired of it. It seems like once they get a good, like, solid or decent team, they're just like, oh, you watch out, NBA. And it's like, we're not afraid. You're not afraid.
Well, and I know the NBA definitely wants the Knicks in the finals.
Yeah.
They want them. That'd be like the Lakers or the Celtics or the Bulls being in the finals. They want that. But they also interviewed Anthony Edwards at the end of the game, and he said that I'm fine. I should be down on myself because I didn't take that many shots.
Yeah.
You I mean, the good players find ways to win, and you had your opportunity at home to win, and you blew it.
Yeah,
So,
but I think good coaches get good players ready. And I think that's the problem. When they came with that pressure, that's not something you wait till the next game to figure out.
right.
That's an in-game decision.
Yep.
And if they're bringing 95, that means, I mean, I'm not great at math, but if there's 5 guys on one team and 5 guys on the other team, and 2 are on one, that means there's someone open. Like,
somebody's open. Right.
And that's where I think Anthony Edwards, I think he was frustrated with the coach. I don't think he was frustrated at his performance. He was frustrated with the coach. Like, if I'm getting double teamed, then I didn't take that many shots. So why is the rest of the team not stepping up when I'm not?
Right.
So, but we got 2 great series for basketball, 2 good series. I will say I think this is leading to a great NBA Finals and a great Stanley Cup Finals. I hope so, because I was hoping to see some Game 7s. I don't think we'll get one Game 7 unless Dallas wins. I think even if the Knicks win tonight, I think they win the next 2. Like if they win tonight, they'll win the next 2. Yeah. Like I think they'll have the momentum. Indiana started with it and letting Game 3 and 4 go. I think the Knicks win it out. The only one we might get is Dallas and Edmonton. Maybe if Edmonton's speed doesn't get controlled, they're going to win this game. We could possibly have 4 series with 3-1 leads.
Right.
So doesn't really help our job at all here. So thanks, sports gods. But again, we talked about it. We are 100 days away from the NFL and 88 days from college football. So it is right around the corner. Enjoy the weather. We'll be back on Friday to give status updates. Some series might be over. Some series might have now look a little bit like they're going to go through up the weekend. Don't hold your breath. But if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of them. We appreciate all the fans. Have a great couple days. We'll talk to you on Friday.